Hey everyone, this is Matt Lopez from the Daily Trade. I'm pretty much here to cover over the watch list for tomorrow, 8/26, 2020. So this is going to be for Wednesday. This is already halfway through the week. We're going to be finishing off most of our plays from this previous Sunday, where I posted the watch list and pretty much got everything going with everyone in the chat. So what I'm going to go over is, and you can see it down in the description below, I'll post what we're actually going over so you can see it as well as I'm going through. But I'm going to be going over Amazon, AMD, Workhorse, Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Roku, and Microsoft. Those are the 8 that I'm going to be going over tonight in this video. And it's just going to be some quick analysis, some quick stuff that I'm going to be watching and that you can watch as well, going into the rest of the week as well as into tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow's going to be a big day again. Spies breaking new records. We got all this bullish news coming out. You have, the main thing from this week when I came into this week was actually knowing that, we have the Republican National Convention going on all week, right? And Trump was basically pumping the market. He was saying that, all right, Trump, he's going to be talking about the economy all week and how they're boosting it and how it's soaring to all-time highs and how they're going to make sure the economy comes back stronger than ever. So this is pretty much what's going to be boosting, the market, right? So they want to see this. The Wall Street wants to see this. They want to see Trump win. This is because, they don't want to get taxed so heavily if Biden wins. So it's all political, and that's what, the market is as well most of the time. So looking at this, that was going into the week. You also, paying attention to politics, you also have to throw into the not only analysis, but just have to keep that in mind. And it's huge. It's been keeping us propped up for a while, and most people know that. So let's dive right into it. So we have Amazon here. Amazon's been keeping us pretty well ever since COVID, right? So but if we're looking into, this has been, on the eyes of a lot of people waiting for this breakout above 33.46 all-time highs, right? So we broke above it yesterday. We broke above it to 33.80, but today we're breaking it and closing at a record. So this is the new close record, which is great, and we're still holding the trends, long-term trends since March. We're holding it up, and every time it breaks above, it just flies, right? So we're looking at those that nice pop over to 3,400 and then probably 3,450 into the rest of the week, right? And that's with SPY moving to all-time highs. That's with all the bullish news, and there is the anticipation of a stock split that's going to happen with Amazon, but Amazon doesn't have as many stock splits as, let's say, Apple or all these other big companies that have done it more often. Amazon doesn't really have that. And the valuation is still there. It makes sense for Amazon to be this high, right? They're having such a free cash flow. They're having everything so nicely set up for them with COVID. It makes sense for them to be the most thriving company in the US right now. But if we're looking into it, chart analysis, by the way, it works to my benefit most of the time, right? Not everything's going to be a winner, but you get most of it right because you do the analysis, you plan it out, you get through it. Anyways, so we're going to be getting through this level tomorrow, seeing how we react to it. As well as that, I was going to show you a couple other things. Okay, so we're looking at today's flow on Amazon. Amazon had a 1.3 million in premium buy. It's in the money, right? 3,300 is in the money. It's already $40 in the money. And you had that for September 18th. So we don't know why they're all in the money, why it's such a huge premium buy. But we did get 2 big indicators, right? We have 2 block buys right here. And this is huge, as we did get a lot of shares bought and a lot bought in. And let me show you something here. This is another interesting thing. So this is a picture of the last time the block buys happened, right? The last big block buys on Amazon. So this is today. This is back in June, the end of June, June 29th. This was when we had June 29th was pretty much heading into the July rally for 4th of July, right? And that's where you got a big boost in the economy, and that was where a lot of things started kicking off, and Tesla started running off, all this stuff, right? So that happened. And then we had another one in a little bit into June, and one in the beginning of May. So, I mean, these are all when the block buys happen, but you can see, you know, these actually ran up after, and that's what we're going to be looking into tomorrow as well. I mean, if it's keeping up with the analysis and it's keeping up with what it's been previously doing, history repeats itself. So let's hope for the best, right? Watch for the volume and just kick it off with a good day. And you can see here I posted the long-term trend. All right. And by the way, let me just throw something out there. In the daily trade, if you throw up the command, and I posted the command before, but the command that brings us watch list, it's pretty cool because then you're able to see, all right, what should I look at? And this is mainly what I trade a lot of the times, right? I won't trade everything, and I'll probably trade, you know, a few of these throughout most of the time. Majority, you'll see me trading just a couple of these at a time. Maybe you'll see me play one, you know, once in a month, once every 2 months. It depends, right? My main ones are mainly tech, right? Hardware, finance. That's what's big, right? You'll see me playing Netflix and Roku a lot. Delta Airlines, my favorite. Space, which is Virgin Galactic. But yeah, you can look at this and you can kind of see to go through the day and just kind of look at these stocks. These are the major, you know, these are pretty much picked because they mainly have the most volume throughout the day. The options are great for trading. And we're just looking at, you know, what has the biggest opportunity to play out there. So that's what we're looking at. And then moving on, I mean, going into AMD, I'm going to jump right into AMD. AMD has been kind to us all, if you guys haven't noticed. Let me just pull it up real quick. So this is AMD, right? So yesterday in the chat, I posted about the watch list and having a bullish divergence on AMD. And as you can see right here, let's pull it up real quick. So we have a bullish divergence coming up in the AMD. Right, we're getting in there. Let me take this off real quick because you can see it easier right here. I meant to take off extended hours before, but you can see we have a bullish divergence, right? So we're looking into actually getting, you know, AMD having a nice run up, right? And this is, if you don't know and you kind of see a spike after a pop overnight and you see a spike and you see a downward trend, don't think of it, oh, we need to buy puts, right? This is going to go a lot lower. This is, you know, this is just price action and how it works usually. So that's what you have to really pay attention to, because what most of the time happens is what we get is, and you can see this, just remember this pattern and you'll get stuck with it. This is what a short squeeze is. This is what happens. You get shorts coming in, right? You're going to have this little short squeeze and then volume pops and you're going to get a kickoff into the, you know, higher. Right, so that's what usually happens, and that's what you just have to wait for and just get into. So that's why you gotta follow the trends, get the analysis, you know, find that entry and just have it ready, have the plan ready. I know a couple people got into it, but I did play AMD I think it was last week. Yeah, I think it was last week. As well, I mean, we're looking at AMD for tomorrow, right? So we're trying to see what is going to happen. And AMD, if we're looking at it, the all-time high is right there at 87.29. It may get there, right? But it may pop down just a little bit. So we have to wait for a nice entry to get in because the IV is already going to be high. Premium is already going to be high, and you don't want to get in at the top when the premium is pretty high. So we're going to be looking at this, trying to see and figure out what we should do next. We have a resistance too right there at 87.74. Might pop there and then bounce off. We don't know. The daily is looking pretty strong though if we're going into tomorrow breaking above that daily VWAP. If we're looking on a weekly time frame, we're going to be looking at it pop over. And there has been a lot of $90 calls coming in for September. So that's another factor to look at, is that those option sweeps are what we're looking at as well, trying to see the big money flow, right? Let me move on to Workhorse real quick. I know John has been mentioning a lot about Workhorse today. John C is in the chat. He's one of the other analysts that's in there. So looking into Workhorse, we're trying to see that the volume, and I barely play this stock, right? I've only played this stock, I think, one other time, but the setup is there, right? So if you see a setup and you see it as a nice opportunity, take it. So today the volume popped off with a great, kickoff over this 1746 area. And that was a nice, level to actually break over, and got in this area and then held it. So I'm swinging this. So we're seeing this into tomorrow, seeing how we can go, and just seeing how this bull flag can break out, right? So we're trying to see this bull flag actually finish off and probably continue up to $21, right? So that's where our price target is and what we're trying to see happen in the market next. So seeing that as well, and it bounced off this monthly VWAP. You can't really see it right here, actually. No, it's okay. But I just want to say that if you're looking at it, the bull flag is lining up perfectly with your 9-day moving average, going right in the middle of it, pushing up higher and at the bottom of this daily candle. This is a great bullish engulfing candle right here. So moving up to the next day, I mean, this is going to be a nice breakout, right? So we can continue higher. I can hold these calls. We might even move higher to all-time highs. So we don't know. You never know, but you're going to always just play the price action, right? You're never going to try and predict everything. You're just going to play the price action, plan it out. That's what we're doing. No speculating. It's just planning it out and making sure that you're in and out, right? Next, we have Facebook. So Facebook was amazing today, broke all-time highs, right? So we're looking at that. I got in yesterday. At open. That was a great play yesterday from open. It was 271 to 276.75, right? That's where I was in. And then just like AMD, right? We have that same short squeeze play coming into the rest of the day, and then boom, short squeeze into tomorrow. Same thing, you have the bullish divergence. You got everything. You got all the indicators you need. And then boom, it pops off. And that's what you're really looking for. Is just these, small indicators you can always just look at. It's nothing really hard about trading, but looking at indicators and charting. People make it overcomplicated. You only need a few indicators. You don't need much. And you never use one for opening a trade or exiting a trade. You're going to kill yourself just doing that. That's where a lot of people mess up, is using one indicator and following that, and then boom, they end up failing on it. So that's why you got to pay attention to all your indicators and just keep it going. But looking into Facebook tomorrow, I mean, after hours, it's already up to where it ended off the day. Trying to see if it'll continue higher after dipping below, possibly bouncing off the 79 area, 79.18, which was previous highs to test it. But I was longing 300 calls in October. So that's what I'm really looking at, is the long-term potential that Facebook can have. And seeing that, all these stock split news, Apple, right, Tesla, and then Amazon, and then, possibly Facebook. So, I mean, Amazon doesn't have one yet, but we're speculating on that only. But really, you want to be in this hype, right? So Facebook, think about it. If you go long Facebook now, you have until, if you buy November or December calls. November, think about it. What's in November this year? Elections. Elections is in November. If you think about it, the RAD revenue, they have earnings in October. This thing is just going to continue to pop up just because of the expectations of how much growth they're bringing in from all the ads and everything from the Republican and the Democrat parties. So we're really looking at seeing how this potential is going to break out in 300. 300, that is a key level. And I'm going to say key because that is what it is. It really is an emotional, psychological level. If somebody sees 300 on Facebook, they're going to buy, or they're going to sell. So that's why we have to pay attention to, certain key levels, right? If you're thinking about it, what do people really look at when they're trading? And that's what we're looking at, is whole numbers. You can look at 290, you can look at 280, you can look at 270, at 300. And that's what you really want to pay attention to, is whole numbers. And that's what your most volume is going to be on whole numbers for options contracts, right? So options contracts will have the most volume mainly on whole numbers. Okay. Moving on, go into Apple real quick. So Apple did have that nice run up, right? We had that nice run up from last week into this week for anticipation into the stock split news and all that. Kind of died off into the first part of the week, right? We had that nice downtrend, killing off a little bit of premium before the end of the week. Though it's still holding this level pretty strong, the previous all-time high break, right? 493.58 there. So it held that pretty strong here. Looking into tomorrow, though, I'm trying to see if we can get a break above this monthly VWAP. This monthly VWAP is holding us pretty hard down right here. So 501.74, as you can see over here, 501.74 is going to be our break into a little bit higher to maybe 504, maybe higher to the rest of the week, ending off Apple possibly at 510 before Friday. So we might get some more bullishness into Apple before the stock split is announced. I mean, sorry, not announced, but actually released, and everyone gets a distribution. So it's just the hype. That's what you're really playing here. And as well, you could have a potential short squeeze. All right. And that's what Apple is. And that was an amazing break on Friday. That was awesome. Netflix, Netflix, it was great for Monday. It wasn't really much, I can't really say much anything else for the rest of the week. Really just those levels, 42 or 492.18 and 492.61. That's really just the macro levels right there in between. That I'm looking at. That's pretty much it. Nothing really else that's surprising or really interesting about Netflix, except for them trying to run back up to 500. But that's pretty much it. I don't really see Netflix running up to 500 maybe till the end of the week, or finishing off on Friday and continuation into Monday with a run. So just keep your eyes on it. I'm not going to really be paying attention to it. Not that big of a deal for me. So our next one is going to be Roku, which is a little bit bigger of a deal, right? Roku has been just staying pretty steady for the past few weeks, right? So since July, we had everything running up for Roku, and then boom, just died off because of earnings. So, Roku, I need to show you over here. Oh, it's right here. Sorry. So Roku, back in July, right? So we had that die off from earnings, right? But in July, we had a break, right? We had a bullish pennant here. You get this drawn because everyone loves seeing some drawn colors on their screen. All right. So we're kind of seeing this right here, right? So we have the bullish, and then it breaks out, and then it breaks down because of earnings. So it's a fake breakout, as we would say. Right, but as as I've been saying, if we're looking at that same pattern, right, AMD, Facebook, you're kind of looking at a short squeeze again, right? We're looking at a short squeeze with the 9-day moving average below your 50-day, but your 50-day is holding pretty strong right below that monthly VWAP. Getting ready for a short squeeze higher. That monthly VWAP is going to be strong, right? VWAPs tend to be very algo based, very volume price. And you want to be paying attention to VWAPs. The VWAP here is 154.13. That's currently, right? It's not going to, show the future monthly VWAP, right? But that's what our price level is. That's what our price target would be. And first we would have the 50 MA, and then we would have the VWAP for the monthly. But if we're seeing this, you could easily see a pop off after. So if we're looking at this, we're trying to see how this might play out, right? Let's throw up this right here. That's looking pretty good. That's a 3-hour. So we do have a bullish divergence here. Let's see. Right? We're getting a bullish divergence. As we get lower highs, higher lows on the RSI, and the MACD, we are killing it. All right, so bullish divergence, right? So we're looking at this, trying to see how we go into the rest of the play. There we go. That's what we're looking at right there, boys and girls. That is a bullish divergence. All right, so tomorrow at open, let's do this, right? Everyone that watches this, I want you to comment down, just because I want to see who's paying attention. I want you to comment down below. Just Roku. all you have to do is just comment down below, Roku. That's all you have to do, okay? That way I know who I can pay attention to next when I actually post our Roku play from now, right? So tomorrow morning, what we're gonna do, as everyone here, you know, since everyone's gonna be here, what we are going to do is play Roku. Here's the plan, because I'm going to do a live plan since you guys are watching this and actually paying attention, and just type Roku. Hopefully you type Roku. Hopefully you subscribe. Hopefully you make a like button right there. You know, you tap it. But we're looking at a bullish divergence. This is so perfect. I mean, how could you not get in this? So September 4th, let's look at them. September 4th, we have the 155 call strikes that are going to be at 290, 297, the bid ask right there. That is what we're looking at, right? That's what we're currently looking at. Let me actually throw it up on my screen just because I need you to look at it. So we're looking at the 155, right? The 155 strike. And that's what we're looking at. The 155, you can look at the 150s for next week. You can even do this week. Why not do this week, right? You could risk it. Just find something that'll work for you. Have a plan and wait for that breakout. 155, 150. This is into September. We're all looking into these. These are very low price for a Roku, right? We're looking at this volume. Look at this volume traded today. Let me look at the open interest real quick. The open interest is look at that. On the 150s for September 18th, 6.5 or 6.5K, right? Those 150s are strong. Whole numbers, remember? Whole numbers. All right, 150, September 4th, 150, 150 strike, 1.4K. This week, 2.5 still holding. So we are going to be watching this very hard into the rest of the week. This is going to be huge going into the rest of the week, right? We're going to have to be watching this very strongly. Because it's just going to be a really good play, right? You know, and once we get this pop off and this volume, you know, we have to play this. This is going to be probably an easy, you know, 50 to 100% play, right? And it's setting you up for a good time. This isn't, you know, oh, maybe it'll go up. You know, this is an actual like technical analysis play. This is the most profitable, the most highly probable play that you can do. A bullish divergence or a bearish divergence. That's the most highly probable, or, you know, doing those short squeezes. So let's do that, right? And then left that we have to talk about is Microsoft. Microsoft breaking its all-time highs. Right? Microsoft in after hours breaking all-time highs, breaking the records. It's doing amazing. Okay. One thing to note is that Microsoft, not always the best when it comes down to holding their levels. Although you can see the MACD is setting up for a nice move higher. RSI is still below 70, which is a good indication of it moving higher. This is almost the same thing that Amazon had, right? So Amazon had, you know, that nice forming. And let me draw it real quick. Just because remember, we like drawing stuff. We like being kids and drawing colorful things on our charts. Anyways, so we're having that nice break above, right? And this could easily run with Amazon tomorrow. So let's watch this. Let's continue to watch this. All right, as we break above, and this is the closing price, 217.63. That's closing price after hours. I believe that's what happened after hours, right? Yep, 217.63. Although it broke to 218.49, this is what we're looking at. Now it doesn't mean it's going to run, right? But it's going to mean that, you know, we're opening up higher than, you know, normal, meaning that first off, there's going to be selling, right? You're going to have the sellers that wanted to sell at all-time high. You're going to have the buyers coming in because, you know, who really wants to sell that didn't have a sell order in? Who really wants to sell when you're at all-time highs? Like, don't you want to wait for it to continue higher? It's a psychological thing. Don't you want to continue with that flow train when it's at all-time high? So the only people that are really selling in majority of the times are actual sell orders that have, you know, the good to close, I mean, not good to close, the ones that are set to close at a certain date, not the ones that are good to close that day, right? So that's last of it. And the volume spike, let me show some volume here. Yeah, so the volume has been setting up nicely just because it's been decreasing over time, and seeing that we want to see this higher. So we're looking for a nice volume spike again over today's volume. Today's volume was actually pretty big. Let's see. What was today's volume? Let me look this up real quick. But I mean, other than that, if you guys ever have any questions, go ahead, join the Daily Trade. I'm going to post our channel, our server in the description below. You'll be able to join. It is $5 for a trial for the first week, and then after that, it is 20. You're going to see it, okay? You're going to see it. You're going to be able to see how we trade. Sorry, not 20. What is it? So you have the 5 the first week in the trial. Let me just say that. Sorry, I'm looking at volume here. 23 million. Is that right? Yep. So today's volume was 23 million. The average is 29 million, almost 30 million. So looking for tomorrow to break today's volume. Okay. Other than that, yeah, if you guys ever want any of those questions answered, if you ever want to talk to us, if you ever want to see daily analysis, if you want to see the watch list, if you want to see more in-depth stuff, and you want to have the live streams now with John C. John is going to be doing the 30-minute, what we're going to call the 30-minute to close live stream on Zoom. He's going to be answering your questions, going to be going over the end of the day stuff, so pretty much just going over that stuff. So if you want to join up, go ahead. It doesn't, you don't have to pay before you enter. You can always join and then pay later, as you can just ask questions to us personally, and then we'll be able to answer them, and then we'll be able to get you on your trial so that we can help you. So other than that, I want to thank you guys for actually joining the live stream. Don't forget to check out our Instagram and our Facebook. If you do have a chance, we have stock twits, we got Twitter, and we got, you know, all the market analysis and bots inside our server that are great for you and great for you to use. So go ahead, leave a like, leave everything. And as well, we do have a TikTok. I forgot to say that. We do have a TikTok. I'll post that. All right. Thank you for joining me. My name is Matt. See you guys tomorrow.